Welcome to session 4 of number systems. Today we will be discussing about operations on real numbers. Operations on real numbers. Okay, this operations on real numbers, let's divide up into two parts. In the first part, suppose we are taking a rational number and an irrational number. If the sum of, first property in that, sum of rational number and an irrational number is always an irrational number. For example, if you are taking a sum of rational number 3 and an irrational root 2, 3 plus root 2 is an irrational number. Similarly, the second one, difference of a rational and an irrational number is always an irrational number. Difference of a rational number. This same example I can take. This is example for the sum of rational and irrational number is always an irrational number. Similarly, if I take example 3 root 2. Okay, 3 is a rational number. My root 2 is an irrational. The difference between them, or you can even take root 2 minus 3 also. This is an irrational number. Then product, if we take third one, product of a rational number and an irrational number. Rational number and an irrational number is always an irrational number. Example, a rational number we will take 2 and an irrational number root 3. The product of it is 2 root 3. So this is an irrational number. Okay. Similarly, if you take the quotient of a rational number and an irrational number is always irrational. Number. For example, if I am taking rational number 2 by irrational number, say root 5, right? The quotient is always an irrational, or the other way, if it is root 5 by root 2, then also it is an irrational number. Okay, this is regarding what, considering the sum of rational and irrational, difference between rational and irrational, product of rational and irrational, quotient of again rational and irrational. All these leads to an irrational number itself. Now we will just see if both the numbers are irrational, then what it will be. Okay, what will be the properties of those things. The first 4 which we have discussed are the properties, and this which one we are discussing now are also the properties of the real numbers. This is the second set of the properties. What we have discussed earlier are the first set of properties which were regarding the rational number and the irrational number. Now suppose both of them are irrational numbers, then what will be the sum of two irrational numbers, or you can take the sum of two irrational numbers. Sum of two irrational numbers irrational numbers need not always be irrational. Listen carefully. It need not be irrational always. The sum of two irrational numbers need not be irrational always. For example, if I am taking 3 plus root 2 is an irrational number. This one plus again another irrational number. Say 3 minus root 2 I will take. That is also an irrational number. The sum of these two. So root 2 gets cancelled and 3 plus 3 6. So 6 is a rational number. So that is why I said that the sum of two irrational numbers need not always be irrational. Here it is leading to be a rational number. Then next one. Difference of two irrational numbers need not always be irrational. Need not always be irrational. For example, if we are taking 5 plus root 2, this is an irrational number. This minus 3 plus root 2, this is also an irrational number. If you simply open the bracket, what we are getting, 5 plus root 2 minus 3 minus 2. Minus root 2 plus root 2 gets cancelled. 5 minus 3 is 2. That 2 is a rational number. Okay, that means difference between two irrational numbers need not be and need not always be an irrational number. Irrational number. Okay, then product of two irrational numbers need not always be irrational. Need not always be an irrational number. For example, if we are taking 2 plus root 5 into 2 minus root 5. Okay, so this is of the form a plus b into a minus b. So this is a square minus b whole square. That is 2 minus, 4. 4 minus root 5 whole square. Root 5 whole square is 5. So what it is? It is minus 1. Minus 1 is a rational number. Right? Now, similarly, if we go for the quotient of two irrational numbers need not always be irrational. Irrational number. Right? For example, I'll take 7 root 2 divided by 3 root 2. 7 root 2 is an irrational number. 3 root 2 is an irrational number. So root 2 gets cancelled. So that is 7 by 3. This 7 by 3 is a rational number. So these are some of the properties of the real numbers, that is rational and irrational numbers. Now let's move on to the next topic, that is representation of root x on the number line. The representation of root x on the number line, where x is any positive real number. Right, means that already we have represented root 2, root 3, root 4 on the number lines. Now if x is a decimal, if x is decimal, then decimal number, then how to represent it on the number line. For example, now for that what we will take, first step, we will draw a number line mark a point A and B such that this AB is of x units. It's a general method for representing root x. That x can be anything. Later we will take up with an example and do. Now first thing is we will draw a number line, then mark AB such that AB is x units. Then B to C we will mark 1 unit. Okay. Then for this AC you will find out the midpoint. Find midpoint to AC. Okay. How do you find midpoint to AC? You will draw the perpendicular bisector for this AC using your compass. That is, you will keep take the radius more than half of AC, keep at point A, draw an arc on both the sides with the same radius, keep the pointer of the compass at C, then draw the arc such that it bisects the previous arcs. This is how the perpendicular bisector you are drawing. Then, if it is, this is the midpoint of AC. Say this midpoint as O. Now, with all these things you have to do with the help of your compass itself. Now, take the radius as OA or OC, take the center as O and draw a semicircle. Semicircle. Okay, AC too. Keeping what? The center as O, radius as OC or OB. The compass center, the pointer of the compass should be at O. Then with that radius you have to draw an arc. Okay, this is a semicircle you have drawn. Now, at B, draw a perpendicular such that it intersects this semicircle. Draw the perpendicular. Draw the perpendicular which will intersect this semicircle. So that is D. Okay. Now you look at OA, OC are the radius of this semicircle. If I join O to D also, this O to D is also the radius of this semicircle. That means OA, OC and OD are all the radii. What is that? OA is equal to OC, that is equal to OD. Right? So what is that? Is that equal to what is the radius of all these things? It is the entire AC we have taken. AC is what we have said. AC is x plus 1 unit. Correct? So half of that is the radius. So it is x plus 1 by 2. Did you follow? AC is x plus 1 units. X plus 1 unit. Then we have we have marked the midpoint as O for this AC. Therefore, OA, OC and OD all are equal. OA, OC and OD will be equal to x plus 1 by 2. Right? Now, look at this triangle. This triangle, this is a perpendicular. We have drawn BD as perpendicular, which is intersecting this semicircle at D. Right? Okay. Now, what is this OB equal to? This OB is equal to OC minus BC. Correct? Yes. Now what is this OC? From the previous step we have got OC is x plus 1 by 2. Right? Minus BC is 1 unit. Now simplify this. This is what? X plus 1 minus 2 whole divided by 2, which is equal to x minus 1 by 2. So OB is equal to x minus 1 by 2. Right. Now focus on this triangle, which is triangle, right triangle OBD. Okay. In triangle OBD, you can use the Pythagoras theorem. What it says? That OD square is equal to OB square plus BD square. Correct? Yes. Now I'll write this side. Let's look at here. What is it? What I have written? OD square is equal to OB square plus BD square. BD square. What is this? OD? OD is equal to x plus 1 by 2. This is x plus 1 by 2 whole square equal to What is OB? OB is equal to x minus 1 by 2. X minus 1 by 2 whole square plus BD square. Right? Therefore, BD square is equal to x plus 1 by 2 whole square minus x minus 1 by 2 whole square. Correct. Now simplify this. This is what it is of the form a plus b whole square. A plus b whole square is a square plus 2ab plus b divided by 4 plus b square. Okay. Minus this side. It is what? X square minus 2x plus 1 by 4. Okay, since the board is small, try to adjust it. I think you are able to see what I am writing there. Now this is equal to x square plus 2x plus 1. Simplify, that is open the bracket here. X square plus 2x minus 1 whole divided by 4. So x square gets cancelled. Then plus 1 and minus 1 gets cancelled. 2x plus 2x is remaining. 2x plus 2x is 4x. 4x by 4. So 4 gets cancelled. That is equal to x. What is actually equal to x? Just look at. This is BD square is equal to x. That means what is BD? BD is equal to root x. Come back to this figure what you have drawn. This BD represents root x now. Now that root x has to be put on the number line, right? So what we will do, we will take the compass. The radius of the compass will be BD. Keep the pointer of the compass at B and draw an arc such that it will intersect the number line. Okay? This point, say I will mark it as E. This point is nothing but root x. This point E gives you root x on the number line. Did you follow it? Now listen once again. Carefully you listen. Follow how to write root x on the number line. First what we have drawn? We have drawn a line. On that we have marked AB such that AB is of x units. Then B to C we have taken 1 unit. After that we have drawn perpendicular bisector to this AC so as to get the midpoint of AC. So that midpoint of AC is O. Right? Now, if midpoint of AC is O, then OA is equal to OC. Right? Now, entire thing, this AC is equal to x plus 1 unit. Therefore, OA or OC, which is half of it, will be equal to x plus 1 by 2. Right? Now, after drawing the finding out the midpoint, take the radius as OA or OC. Keep the pointer of your compass at O and draw a semicircle. Then, after that, with this point B, draw a perpendicular such that it intersects this semicircle at point D. And now join O to D. If you look at carefully, even OD is also the radius for this semicircle. Right? So OD is also equal to x plus 1 by 2. Right? Then now you will let's find out what is this OB. OB is equal to OC minus BC. OC minus BC. What is that OC? OC is half of AC. How much we have seen that to be? That is x plus 1 by 2. So x plus 1 by 2 minus 1. Simplifying it, you get it as x minus 1 by 2. Which what is that? OB is equal to x minus 1 by 2. Now focus on this right triangle. Okay? Right triangle OBD. In that, you using your Pythagoras theorem, you can write OD square equal to OB square plus BD square. Now you substitute the values of OD square and OB square. OD, where we have calculated that OD is x plus 1 by 2. We are putting here x plus 1 by 2 whole square is equal to OB. OB is here. OB is x minus 1 by 2. X minus 1 by 2 whole square plus BD square. Now BD square is equal to what? X plus 1 by 2 whole square minus x minus 1 by 2 whole square. Now use the identity a plus b whole square and a minus b whole square. Expand them, simplify it, then you are getting it as BD square is equal to x, whereas BD will be root x. So this line which you have drawn represents root x. So that has to be put on the number line. So what is the last step? With BD as the radius and D as the center of your compass, you are going to draw an arc which will intersect the number line at E. This point E denotes your root x. Okay, is it clear? Now let's try to represent root 7.3 on the number line. Okay, so first what we are going to do is we are going to draw a line, mark point A to B as 7.3 units. 7.3 units. Then from B to C we will take 1 unit. Okay. Then with the help of your compass you will find out the midpoint. This is B to C, midpoint of AC. Okay, that is drawing the perpendicular bisector. Use compass only to find out the midpoint of AC. Okay, then this is like this. Approximately I have done here. This is point O. That is AC's midpoint is O. Then with OC or OA as the radius, you are going to draw a semicircle. Okay. Then with B, you are drawing a perpendicular to this semicircle which is intersecting it at point D. This is 90 degree here. Then you are joining O to D. Joining O to D. Now with this BD as the radius, you are and keeping the center of the compass at B, draw an arc which will intersect the number line at the say point E. So this point is root of 7.3. Got it? This is how we can represent any number where x is a decimal on the number line. Clear? And now let's see some identities relating to the square roots. Okay, some identities. Relating to square roots. Okay, so let A and B be positive real numbers. Positive real numbers. Then first one, if you take up first one, root of A into B. Root of A into B is equal to root A into root B. Okay, example, if I am taking square root of 3 into 3 into 2. This is equal to square root of 3 into square root of 2. Second one, square root of A by B is equal to root A by root B. Like example, square root of 3 by 2 is equal to square root of 3 divided by square root of 2. Then third one, if you take root of A plus root B, root A plus root B into root A minus root B. This is of the form A plus B into A minus B. So this is equal to A square minus B square. That is when it is A plus B into A minus B, it is equal to A square minus B square. Here it is root A plus root B into root A minus root B. So that is equal to root A whole square minus root B whole square. That is nothing but A minus B. For example, so what it is? Root A plus root B into root A minus root B is equal to A minus B. Okay. Example, if we take root 3 plus root 2 into root 3 minus root 2 is equal to what? Root 3 whole square minus root 2 whole square, or it is simply 3 minus 2, which is equal to 1. Right? So next one, a plus root b into a minus root b is equal to a square minus b. A square minus b. Consider an example. Say 3 plus root 5 into 3 minus root 5. This is equal to what? 3 square minus root 5 whole square. That is nothing but 5 here. 3 square minus 5. That 3 square is how much? 9. 9 minus 5. That is 4. Okay. Next identity. Next identity, I'll write it here on the top. Okay. Or maybe here. Fifth one is root a plus root b into root c plus root d. This is equal to root a into c plus root a into d plus root bc plus root b. Example, root 2 plus root 3 into root 5 plus root 7. If you are taking, this is equal to root of a into c, that is 2 into 5. 2 into 5 plus root of, this is into, okay, then 2 into 7 plus root of 3 into 5 plus root of 3 into 7. That is nothing but root 10 plus root 14 plus root 15 plus root 21. Okay. Then next one, square root of a plus root b whole square. This is as good as saying a plus b whole square. So this is equal to a plus 2 root ab plus b. Root a plus root b whole square is equal to a plus 2 root of ab plus b. Example, if you are taking root 3 plus root 5 whole square is equal to, simply you can just write it as 3 plus root 3 into 5 plus 5. That is nothing but 3. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 plus 2 root 3 into 5, 15. Clear? So these are the 6 identities relating to the square roots. With this, let's move on to exercise 1.5. Okay, first question in that, classify the following numbers as rational or irrational. First one they have given you 2 minus root 5. Is it rational or irrational? Root 5 is there, which is irrational. Therefore, the number is also irrational here. It is irrational. Then see the second one, 3 plus root 23. 3 plus root 23 minus root 23. This root 23 gets cancelled. So remaining is, this is equal to 3. So 3 is the rational number. Right. Then see the third question. Third one, 2 root 7 by 7 root 7. Right. So root 7 gets cancelled. 2 by 7. 2 by 7 is a rational number. Rational number. Next, fourth one, 1 by root 2. Root 2 is in the denominator. So root 2 is an irrational number. Is an irrational number. Okay. Next, pi. 2 pi. Pi, already we know that it is an irrational number. So from 2 is multiplied to pi. This is also an irrational number. Irrational number. Okay. moving on to the second question. Simplify each of the following expressions. Second one, simplifying each of the following expressions. What is that? First one is 3 plus root 3 into 2 plus root 2. You have to simplify this. If you look at, then what it will be first. Like how usually binomials multiplication we were doing, the same way this also. 3 into 2 plus 3 into root 2 plus root 3 into 2, right? Plus root 3 into root 2. So this will be leading to 3 into 2 is 6 plus 3 root 2 plus 2 root 3 plus root 6. Okay. Then now second one, what it is? 3 plus root 3 into 3 minus root 3. This is of the form a plus b into a minus b. So this will be a square minus b whole square. That is 9 minus 6. This is how to simplify. Then third question, what it is? Root 5 plus root 2 whole square. It is of the form a plus b whole square, that is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. Same way, root 5 whole square plus 2 into root 5 into root 2 plus root 2 whole square equal to 5 plus 2 root 10 plus 2. That is nothing but 7 plus 2 root 10. Right. Then next one, what they have said, fourth one, root 5 minus root 2 into root 5 plus root 2. So now which identity it is? A minus b into a plus b. So that is root 5 whole square minus root 2 whole square. Root 5 whole square is 5, root 2 whole square is 2, that is equal to 5 minus 2 is 3. Then see the third one. Recall, pi is defined as a ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter. That is usually third question. We say that pi is equal to c by d. Right. This seems to contradict the fact that pi is irrational. How will you resolve this contradiction? As such, there is no contradiction for pi to be an irrational number. Pi is an irrational number. For example, if you take to measure the length of any item using the scale, it only gives you the approximate value. It does not give you the definite, right? The same in this case also. So it is not a contradiction to it. Then pi itself is a irrational number. Okay, it does not contradict to the fact that pi is irrational, because anything, if we measure any length of a substance using the scale, it only gives you the approximate value. There also you will not get the accurate value, isn't it? The same way it is here also. If you calculate pi here, the pi value is around 3.14159 something like this. When you take pi 22 by 7 we say, so if you take 22 by 7 it is like 3.1428571 continuous like this. Okay, so this is the answer for the third one. Now moving on to the fourth. What does the fourth question say? It says represent root 9.3 on the number line, which we have told earlier how to represent it. Okay, that you can discuss. Instead of 9.3 we have taken 7.3 as an example. The same way you can do this fourth one also. Then moving to the fifth question. Rationalize the denominators of the following. What does this rationalize means? Rationalize means if the numbers in the numerator are irrational, we will make it rational by multiplying both the numerator and the denominator by the suitable numbers. Okay. That is, rationalizing means whatever if the number is an irrational number, that too in the denominator, we will try to make the denominator to a rational number. That process is known as rationalization. Okay. So fifth question we will do it. Let's see fifth one. Now look at the fifth question. Fifth one, what they have said, first part of it, rationalize the denominators of the following. First one, 1 by root 7. Rationalize the denominators of the following means the denominators are irrational. You have to make it rational. So what we will do is we will multiply and divide it by root 7. Okay. So this will be root 7 divided by root 7 into root 7 is 7. So if this denominator is being rationalized. Okay. Now see the next one. Next one is 1 by root 7 minus root 6. So rationalizing it, just look at, we will multiply by a suitable number. I have said that number is this only, that is root 7. Here if it is minus sign plus its rationalizing factor, root 7 plus root 6 is known as the rationalizing factor of root 7 minus root 6. Multiply and divide by it. So this multiplying it with 1 leads to the same thing, divided by, if you look at the denominator carefully, it is of the form a minus b into a plus b, which is equal to a square minus b square. So this is root 7 plus root 6 divided by root 7 whole square is 7. 7 minus 6 is 1. So answer is root 7 plus root 6. Okay. Then see the third one. Similarly, third question, 1 by root 5 plus root 2. So rationalizing it again. So you are multiplying and dividing it by root 5 minus root 2 divided by root 5 minus root 2. Okay. Then multiplying it with 1. It is root 5 minus root 2. Here it is again of the form a plus b into a minus b. So root 5 whole square minus root 2 whole square. So this is root 5 minus root 2 divided by 5. Root 5 whole square is 5 minus root 2 whole square is 2. So this leads to root 5 minus root 2 divided by 5 minus 2, 3. Okay. Next, the last one of this exercise, 1 by root 7 minus 2. So multiply it by root 7 plus 2 and also divide it by root 7 plus 2. Right? Multiplying then root 7 plus 2 divided by again a minus b into a plus b. So root 7 whole square minus 2 square. So root 7 plus 2 divided by root 7 whole square is 7 minus 2 square is 4. So this is root 7 plus 2 divided by 7 minus 3. Okay, this is how we rationalize the given numbers. That's all in today's video. Thank you.